Welcome to Survivor NSFW. Jonny, Fairplay, oh my God, the Coconutz are in the house. Sex Dr. Mike, Joe, Mena. The first time I have officially met you dudes happens to be on a freaking podcast. I hope I get to meet you guys in Florida this year, so it's a pleasure, my friends.
Same here, same here.
Yeah, what's going on?
Sex Dr. Mike.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sex Dr. Mike, you know I'm a huge fan. I'm wearing the shirt. Trust me, I'm a sex doctor. Available at JonnyFairplay.com. The first shirt ever made on JonnyFairplay.com.
I love it, and it's still available, huh?
It's still available. The Joe Mena, not available because he was an asshole about it the entire time. But we'll talk about that later.
Put it on sale for 99 cents. I guarantee it'll sell out.
I doubt it. But Joe, I want to thank you.
All of them.
The quality's about 40 cents, so I mean you're still making a little profit there.
I'm doing all right. All right, Joe. All right. So for anyone that's not on Patreon, you're missing out because there's video content. You go to patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. But I'm going with props early. I got this in the mail today, and I was so happy to get this. An autographed Joe Mena picture.
Fuck out of here. Who's that ugly dude, though? Who's that, though?
It says, Jonny, your absolute favorite, and then the autograph is War Dog's autograph. So thank you, Joe Mena. I liked you best when your name was Tony, but I like Middle Joe as well. It's okay.
I would never call myself War Dog, though. I'll give you that much.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing worse than a guy with a fake name, right?
Exactly. Nah, he's a guy, though.
Yeah. I like the guy.
So
I like everybody. I like you, Jonny.
I'm like Sex Dr. Mike. I get along with everybody too. But so let me ask you this. So Jonny Fairplay.
But you also stick your finger in everybody's butts?
Do I? No, only my wife's.
Send pictures or it doesn't count.
So Jonny always jokes around about you guys, right? It's like a love-hate hilarious deal. So is it true, like Joe, that Jonny, like you were his number one nemesis? You were wanting, like, I don't know if you were wanting to punch Jonny Fairplay in the face.
No, it was one-sided. It was very much one-sided.
I didn't want to punch him. I wanted to body slam him. Let's get it right.
Okay, so
he wanted to punch.
But you meant it.
No, I did. I still want to. I still mean it. Meant is past tense. No, I still want to. You just haven't came. I mean, we haven't been at the at the same place at the same time.
So you guys have never hung out, have you, Jonny? Have you hung out with Joe or Sex Dr. Mike in person?
Joe, no. And the fact that Sex Dr. Mike has not touched my penis yet, I don't know whether I'm happy or dismissively discouraged. Or discouraged. I guess we're here to announce history, at least reality TV history. The first ever reality TV vasectomy will be done Monday, August 12th on live stream, and it's Sex Dr. Mike cutting my scrot so that I can make there will never be another Jonny Fairplay on the planet.
That's funny because during our season, Mike, I mean, he joked around like, "Hey Joe, we should do a live stream once we get back to the States." So I'm like, "Mike, I'm not doing that," and he was dead serious. So
about a vasectomy?
Yeah, Joe, you told
me, but he wanted.
This was you playing Survivor. You told me you were going to do it with me.
I know, but
but he wanted to do it with the famous Survivor.
You got
Jonny, I think Joe reinvented you, right? Like there was Jonny, nobody remembered him. Joe got into a fight with him, and now Jonny's back.
Mike,
right?
I appreciate
every bad guy needs a good nemesis.
I appreciate that, Mike.
I just repeat the same like I honestly I watched Survivor Triple H. I was like, oh,
I think Jonny has a hard on for bald-headed tattoo guys because it's funny how he started beef with me, and then all of a sudden, fucking War Dog comes out, and he starts beef with War Dog.
It's the same character. I hate that character more than life itself.
I love the character though, because like no shots at War Dog. Like I think War Dog was great, but War Dog was like completely different than like the other two bald-headed tattoo guys.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
I
like,
100% agree with that. I agree.
But Matt's called him out, saying his game was more fair play-esque than a Tony or a Joe.
No, you think so? I don't think War Dog was really entertaining. I think he was like
Well, strategically.
yeah, yeah. All right, I'll take that.
Yeah. So I mean, like you do the permission before forgiveness before permission. You know, So yeah, I mean, I consider it a compliment. I was entertained by War Dog. He wasn't the character that I think he could have been even larger, and I don't know if it's him. I mean, like, honestly, it's weird. Like that's one of the reasons I was excited to have you here, because like I used to just love the game, live the game. It was so amazing to me. And, and whenever the survivors got together, we talked, but I mean, we're talking 2003, 2008, and we're in 2019. And I do a fucking weekly podcast in which me and Matt, we're just I could never talk about Survivor again and be pretty fucking happy, because we talk a lot of fucking Survivor. But I meet War Dog this season, and he's just like, hey, so strategy-wise, blah, 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 blah. And this motherfucker's just giving facts and details, and it's so fucking amazing. And I'm just like, oh my God, this was me. I used to love this so much. And, and not that I don't enjoy the podcast, because I do enjoy the podcast. I'm just I get my fill on the podcast. I'm just okay, I don't need to discuss Survivor outside of that. But to hear him, I'm just the last guy that reminded me of something like that was talking with you, Joe. I mean, you love Survivor in a fun way that's just so amazing as a fan and another Survivor.
Wait, is Jonny giving me a compliment, or where's he going with this?
Yeah, no, it's a huge compliment. And then. Yeah, and then I'm talking with Sex Dr. Mike, last Thursday, and Sex Dr. Mike's just hey, season 40, I'm thinking Alliance here, and we're doing, and I get there, I'm just oh my God, I'm just these motherfuckers are I used to be, and that, I mean, I separate the podcast from just normal, fun conversation, because it's, we say a few things off the podcast that we would not say on the podcast, because we're smart. So, but I mean, but
unauthorized. Yeah, there you go. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm unauthorized as fuck, but at the same time, I'd like to fucking work again, So, but and just Survivor-wise, the conversations aren't that fucking crazy. But no, I mean, it warms the soul, because when I first started doing the podcast with Matt, I got that same feeling. Then I was just man, this motherfucker loves Survivor. I remember when I loved Survivor, and it's really cool. And I wanna. I'm hoping when we put this out, I'm gonna grab a screen grab of this right here, because and go further. I'm gonna do a little video deal, but it's crazy, because so many people buy, we started the podcast with Survivor, Hustlers, Heroes, and assholes, whatever the third category was. but I'm sitting there. The gimmick of the podcast was, fuck the Coconutz, fuck Joe Mena. And it was so crazy. We had a year-long or season-long feud, and Joe doesn't even bother to correct me that I'm incorrectly pronouncing his fucking name. I'm just come on, man.
Call me Joe Mena, Joe asshole, Joe whatever. I love it all. I take it all in.
But your name is Joe Mena. So anyway, so I'm just this guy sucks. Sex Dr. Mike sucks, but we love him. And then the Coconutz suck. Once again, there's a Coconut shirt, that one's still available, JonnyFairplay.com. But I tell the listeners that, I hate the Coke. And so your season ends. The first guest I have, Joe Mena, surprise, everyone's what the fuck? I thought these guys hate each other, blah, blah, blah. And then we work our way to Sex Dr. Mike's hey, how cool is this, Sex Dr. Mike? Then I have the Coconutz together, the first ever interview with the fucking Coconutz. And all my listeners and all my patrons, they go, skipping this one. And I go, what do you mean? They're just like, well, you told us that the Coconutz suck. Fuck Joe and Mena. And I'm just like, no. I'm like, amazingly enough, it was entertaining. And they're just like, nope, you told us.
They actually listen to you, Johnny. They actually listen to you.
Yeah, but Johnny's lying here. Johnny told us before that it was the highest listened podcast he ever had.
No,
it's true that he did have Libby, which is
true.
the highest listened podcast he ever had. And we can't
true.
compete with Libby.
Not true at all. No, Libby's up
And
there.
Libby, the only reason it was probably downloaded because was it like a video download? Because I know there's no way it's fucking audio, dude. No fucking way.
No,
Actually, this podcast was just video and no audio, Joe.
There's no her mic wasn't working.
I believe that, Mike. I believe that.
Yeah. So no,
it's still
actually,
the highest download.
Our most downloaded episode of number one, I think, is Sandra, and then number two is Jenna Lewis. Number four, like the new highest is the Edge of Extinction finale, because it was a very different take on the finale than a lot of people had.
So real quick, so I want to know. I know Sex Dr. Mike. I've read that you and your wife have been Survivor fans since the beginning. Is that true?
Yeah, pretty much. We started watching the last episode of the first season was our first episode.
So you're a big longtime fan, which is fucking awesome. And Joe, what about you, man?
Well, hold on. He named his kid Ethan after Ethan.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
Which I mean, it's a long story, and Johnny's.
Well, no, it's a short story.
But
Barry, his wife's hall pass is Ethan.
Yeah.
Joe loves that.
That's why
And he lived like 3 blocks away from me in New York City. And so when Ethan came out, I was just happy that Ethan looked like me.
But Joe's sitting back going, Barry's other unauthorized hall pass is Joe Mena. So what's up?
No, it's not.
Nah.
But
it's
Joe,
not you either, John.
Joe, so you're a fan. You're a fan. You're not a recruit. What got you wanting to be on Survivor, Joe, in the first place?
I got hooked maybe like 7 years ago. My first season I watched was Heroes versus Villains. So what got me to apply was my supervisor, my chief, was like, Joe, you'll do great on Survivor, this and that and that. And I'm just like, no, the show's fake. It's bullshit. It's not real. Then
you were right with the no part.
Yeah. I fell in love after season 20. I mean, season 20 wasn't airing. It was a previous season, but fell in love with Hans, started binging, and then fell in love with the show, and then I applied, and there I was.
That's awesome. And Sex Dr. Mike, you as a big fan, and both you guys, I mean, isn't it just like still to this day, you guys are sitting here doing this podcast? Because I feel this way all the time. Sometimes I'm like, man, I can't fucking believe that I played Survivor. As a huge fan, and years later, I'm sitting here doing a podcast with fucking dumbass Jonny Fairplay and you two fucking assholes. It's fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Tell us how you really feel, Matt.
No, it really is. It's like, it's, winning the $1 million and this, whatever would be fucking awesome. But the people that I've met and just all of us have that something special that got us on the show. And whenever I meet...
And Joe.
Yeah. And whenever I meet somebody, though, it's fucking...
Didn't want to leave you out, Joe.
It's cool. And you guys, we all share a love of Survivor. So we all have watched tons and tons and tons of seasons. What is your guys' take on the Edge of Extinction? Because for me...
Bullshit.
Yeah, so you guys were not a fan. I mean, it was completely...
Well, we don't know. Mike might have loved it. I mean, sometimes Mike doesn't like Jonny Fairplay, so he knows he doesn't have the best taste.
So Joe, you obviously are stating like you're not fucking down with how it went down. The dude that won, what was his name again?
No, I think Chris is by far the best hustler Survivor has ever seen. The dude played 15 fucking days and won $1 million. Who could say that? What winner of Survivor could say that? There's
Sandra,
not one.
I don't know. Sandra played 15 days. So Sandra can say it twice.
No, let me ask you this, Matt.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, obviously we can't blame Chris for what happened.
No, fuck
And
no.
we could say, you know, like I think War Dog said, that the theme is not on trial. But the reality is that from day one, we said that this potentially could happen with Joey Amazing.
Yes.
And
who
then
the season was made for.
Oh, if you're saying it, not me, but if Joey Amazing,
really, Joey, you say it.
Sure, but if Joey Amazing did exactly what Chris did, how would the fans all be perceiving it right now?
That's a good question, because I think that a lot of the people that, you know, there's a lot of Joey Amazing fans, and they would have loved to seen Joe Anglem win the game. He comes back with the ball challenge, and he comes back in the game, and he
makes fire.
Yeah, so yeah,
I guarantee that motherfucker was practicing fire. I mean, like, dude, the season was made for you. If you don't do your like, if he's sitting there on the edge of Extinction, they're like, "Hey, Joe, you might want to practice fire." It's like, "Nah, it's cool. I mean, you don't even know if you're gonna get back in." It's just like, oh.
I don't think Joe that far.
Only reason we brought Aubrey is so you can beat her in that final challenge. That's why those other people were cast. So if it were close with fucking Wentworth, we were gonna slice their fucking Achilles when Jeff goes, "Survivors, are you ready?" So no, it was set up for you to win, Joe. Yeah, I don't think I'm feeling practicing fire.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at Chris for winning, and like you said, Joe, like he played for the theme, the twists, everything else, he played the best possible game he could play. I'm completely still in shock that it even happened, because honestly, as much as like Rick Devens was such a polarizing character, someone that gets voted out of the game and comes back and wins is a crazy concept.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, Chris was going against Gavin, and who's the other girl? What was her name? Julie?
Yeah.
He played 3 days and outplayed someone that was in the game for 39 days. I mean, that's pretty sad.
With house money.
Yeah, with house money.
I think that's huge.
One of the big problems is that he did get that idol at the end, right?
Yeah.
And
no. He got the idol. He survived a vote to get an idol. Like I thought it was a little too easy with the Outcast twist on Pearl Islands when Lil and Burton are just like, "Hey, just to give you a chance to integrate and back into the tribe, you get immunity the first thing." Yeah. So no, for him to make it past that first immunity, I'm just like, you know what? I think you do earn an idol then.
And then
based on, I mean, because Rick had to agree, and before, like he had to trust someone enough to ask them. That person had to agree. Then you make it through immunity, and then you ask them back, and they honor the request. That's a lot of steps.
And why did Devens give him back that idol?
I don't know.
In all seriousness, people talk about, what season did they see last before they went on the island? He literally saw me throw half an idol in the fire. 2 months before he went out there.
Oh, Mike, are you sure he even watched our season?
That's true.
What, Devens?
I don't know if you saw the ratings.
No. You know, Johnny, I'm really upset that you always throw 35 under the bus. We had better ratings and more viewers than season 36, 34, and 37, and 38. So,
Your story.
I don't know. But
that's more
true.
than Ghost Island out of the chute beat you guys.
No, it didn't. Look it up. Google, baby. Google that.
I will.
I
believe you.
Joe
but
and I make good television, Johnny. Joe and I make good television.
No.
I enjoy season 38 because it makes 35 look like it's like a top tier season. So I really appreciate
I don't know about that.
I mean, you know what? You guys said, Matt, you said that Devens was a polarizing character. Was he a polarizing character? Was he just the only person actually doing anything on the island?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, he was entertaining. He was funny, but yeah, I think that CBS liked him, and they probably gave him a lot of airtime because a lot of the other players kind of sucked. And honestly, people loved the guy, but even if he came back and won the game, I would not be that thrilled. I mean, I don't know. It's just hard for me to accept. I mean, if all of us played a season like Edge of Extinction and we get voted out and we have a chance to make it back into the game, we're like, hell yes. But
you're doing everything Chris did. I mean, like, why wouldn't you do they're just like, oh my God, like that array of moves was, like he gambled immunity, and I'm just like, he didn't have a choice.
The other thing that you don't realize, Johnny, maybe, is that supposedly on Edge of Extinction, they all sat around strategizing what to do for what the one person that gets back should do. So all of those moves were moves that were cultivated possibly by David Wright, by
Aubrey, probably David. I would imagine. I would imagine
just sitting there. Oh, you got to get so and so to play her idol. You got to get.
Well, that's the thing that pisses me off, man. Is I would, as a fan of the fucking show, I would love to have seen the strategy and the gameplay going on Edge of Extinction. We didn't see much of it.
That should have been bonus content on CBS.com. Didn't need to be part of the show, but bonus content on CBS.com.
Right.
If he did, I think people would be more upset that Chris won, because it would just validate the fact that he didn't create these moves. I mean, I'm not saying he was coached, but yeah, like Mike said, they were strategizing all day, every day on Extinction Island. What else are you gonna do?
And actually, who I take that back. When I say it was probably just David and Aubrey, I would strongly suggest that War Dog had a lot to say on that island when he got there. I mean, that motherfucker's 24. Like I would call him after, peek behind the curtain. We were fucking friends. I would call War Dog after the episode, and he's just like, okay, so this, like, he goes, I'm going in like three-headed snake mentality. Like I'm fucking, and I'm just like, this motherfucker remembers every second of every conversation of every minute he was out there, and I'm just like, God bless, man. I mean, because like people ask, they're just like, hey, fair. I'm just like, I don't know, like I didn't like Sandra. I mean that that summarizes 3 days. So that was that vote. I did, versus So I looked, I saw his eyelash and it dropped, and I was like, no, now's the time. And I'm like, wow, this motherfucker's a strategizing fool. So it's amazing.
I mean, strategizing is great, but it's all about, executing and if everyone else falls in line, because if you're playing with some dumbasses out there, which, I mean, he wasn't, I mean, this cast wasn't the greatest cast.
It was not. There were some good characters.
Really? I mean, Reem and Devins, I think, are the standouts. Everyone else
I agree with you,
Victoria,
Joe.
Like, I'd propose right now to Victoria.
Wait, why do people love Victoria? No hate towards Victoria, but what the fuck? Like, she was on the right side of the vote, and what else? She wore a goofy hat, and what else? Like, I don't know nothing else about her. She didn't stand out. She didn't pop. Like,
she smiled. She smiled to Aubrey's face when she put the sword in her back. Just right to her face, just the biggest smile.
Like, you're supposed to take Aubrey out. Like, why wouldn't you? She's a returning player. Like, that's a no-brainer. Like, I can't applaud that. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. It's not rocket science.
Okay, well then why, Heroes, Villains, which you say is this great season that made you watch the show, why wouldn't you fucking vote out the person that's already won $1 million fucking dollars?
Because of that reason alone. She already won. No one's going to vote for her. That's where they fucked up.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
That's a crazy, I'd say dumb strategy.
That is a dumb, and I agree with you. And that's why, what's her name, the redhead, Victoria, got rid of Aubrey. She's smart enough to understand.
I thought she was fun. I think the Rick Devens story took over a lot of airtime for anyone else that could have been a character.
Because they were all boring as fuck.
All right. It's answer. This is a question for Joe. All right, and I don't understand why you say. Why do you feel that Sex Dr. Mike is a low budget version of Rick Devens? Because I don't see it.
Low budget. I don't see it either, man. Like,
I'm sorry. I was just reading the text you sent me.
And I did. I think Mike is a low budget. What's his name? Who's the guy that played this season?
David Wright.
David Wright. He's more entertaining. David Wright.
I think you're not low budget, Dave. Right? Neil Strauss is. He does a podcast called "To Live and Die in L.A." It's great.
Oh, that is a good podcast. I listen to that. So Edge of Extinction, we all agree was something that they shouldn't probably do.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
What Jonny was trying to say about me being low budget, whatever the fuck, is that
No, I was not saying I was reading Joe's text.
Well, the reason why Edge was boring was because these 4 returnee players arguably knew how to play, and the way they were playing was, we're just going to fly under the radar until the merge. Yeah. But you know what? That's boring, right? So yes, you might get 4 good players, and they're going to just not make any waves and not do anything, but that's not fun to watch.
They also chose 4 safe players that they knew would choose left when given the opportunity. There's a lot of survivors that would have seen that crossroad and been like, fuck you, I'm getting a cheeseburger. And they were not rolling the dice. They
no
knew for
fucking
a fact,
way, dude. Joe and Mike, would you have left the Edge of Extinction?
No way.
No.
Yeah, but these are players that would say yes. I mean, I think Wendy comes back, gets that choice again. She's like, nah, I've been there. That shit sucked. Like, I think there's a lot of like Reynolds comes back and plays, and he sees that fucking crossroad. He's like, you know what? Right's fine.
I guess maybe if you are not a true fan of Survivor and you're a recruit and Survivor doesn't mean squat to you. But it's but you know what though? It's like
here's how I illustrate that. We do a podcast called the Castaway Watch Along, in which we watch previous seasons episodically and do a commentary over top of it. Okay, I did Pro Islands. We had Andrew Savage, my fucking enemy. He's like, I'd like to do this. We had Sandra Diaz Twine, another fucking enemy. She's like, I want to do this. We had Darren do 2 episodes. We had Burton do 2 episodes. I mean, like, it was shit talking. It was fucking great. It was fucking awesome fucking podcasting. That's one, a Patreon thing. So Matt and I do the fucking Castaway Watch Along for Caramoan. I stopped watching the season after the fucking craziness with Brandon Hance. There's a long. I just didn't want to see Philip. Cochran kill me, whatever. I just didn't want. So I tapped out. So we're watching it. So we have Eric the ice cream scooper, great guy. We have Snowy on, great guy. We call Francesca. She's like, I didn't watch it the first time. I wouldn't watch it again. So we can't get her as a guest. So we asked Corinne. She's like, I'm fucking like I watched that one time. I'll never sit through that shit again. So, but then Matt contacts fucking Reynolds and Eddie and these fucking recruits. They're like, I don't fucking watch. I'm not trying to watch Survivor.
Eddie, the fireman, Eddie.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah. Eddie Fox. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And
does Corinne still do a podcast?
What's
that? You said Eddie would quit.
Well, no, I mean, like those motherfuckers. So it's just like, hey, we do a thing where we watch the previous season. And we talk about it's like fans really appreciate that, and they're just like, I don't give a fuck about that, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, but in the game they wouldn't give a fuck. In the game they would give a fuck, and they wouldn't quit.
Dude, I think they were fucking recruits. They didn't care. They don't care now. Maybe you're right. But I know for a fact that the 4 people they chose. The 4 people they chose, Jonny, they weren't
Jonny,
worried about saying go left.
I really feel like, and Matt, I'm sorry.
I love it way.
I feel like this podcast has been as entertaining as season 38. I think we have to do something to make it better. Can we talk about something else besides the concept that are talking about 38?
Yeah.
Season 4 is around the corner and is much, much more interesting.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Done with it, and we move on. I'm taking over your podcast, Jonny. It's the Dr. Mike and Matt podcast now.
Sex Doctor Mike.
But yeah, I mean, so we have a fun thing. So season 39, we just want to skip over even talking about that shit.
Let's just that.
We want to talk about season 40, which Jonny Fairplay. We had talked about this elusive Survivor Season 40 Legend season, which was obviously shot down amongst the powers that be from CBS. Is what we all are understanding that it
Word
is
on
an
the
all
street. Rumor and innuendo.
Rumor and innuendo. So it's going to be Season 40 All Winners Clash of Champions is I think what it's going to be called. We know. According to rumor and innuendo, what the cast of Survivor Season 40 is going to be. We actually last week had on Tina Wesson, who is not part of season 40.
But was really looking forward to working with Yule because he doesn't talk and she likes people that are quiet when she plays the game. was my favorite part of the podcast.
She would not like Joe or me.
No. She goes, I like players that just don't talk or say nothing. They're just there and they don't talk. I don't like it when they talk. And I'm like, wow, Tina Weston doesn't like it when you talk. Apparently, you know what? I think there's a lot of people that talk a lot. So I second your vote. I think that Yule's entertaining television? Not so much.
No. So Sex Dr. Mike had basically an idea, a list of things to kind of mull over in this season 40 scenario. And hold on.
I have my list. They sent me Vaseline, latex gloves. What is this, Mike? This is not the list for you know what, Matt, do you have the podcast list? Sorry. Mike, that's not kosher.
We're going to do some season 40 predictions, okay? Like Johnny's professed his hatred toward the theme of an all-winter season. I think with last season Edge of Extinction being so terrible that season 39 and season 40 have to get better. So
Matt, real quick, next week's guest, the War Dog.
Well, I'm psyched to talk to the War Dog.
Your intro was so good there. The worst season ever. So bad it's worse than Survivor Triple H, Edge of Extinction. Next week's guest, the War Dog.
Do you think anybody's going to have to climb up the Boston Rob statue?
I don't know. I want to know if the Boston Rob statue is going to go on eBay for someone like Big Mike to freaking buy.
Oh my God. I want to pee.
Just the hat.
I want to pee on both those statues so bad. I've never wanted to pee on anything. Oh my God! I saw this fucking meme yesterday. Tony Ferrari, it was on Paradise Hotel back in the day. So there's this meme. This guy is like, to the asshole that put mustard packs underneath the toilet seat things. I just want to say, I hope you die, blah, 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 as I wiped off mustard from my balls and my stained boxer shorts. And I'm just like, oh my God, the rest of my life as I know it has completely changed. Like, I will forever have packs of mustard in my pocket. And anytime I go anywhere, use the bathroom, like underneath the toilet seat, put those fucking mustard packs. Oh my God, like life fucking changer. Like, I can't imagine not putting mustard packs underneath toilet seat rims for the rest of my life.
I would be so fucking pissed.
Is this a promise that you're going to do this at Hearts of Reality?
Oh, you bet your fucking sweet ass. Oh my God, Sugar wanted to share a room with me.
Right, it would be ketchup then.
I would have loved to have gotten Sugar. So, but me and Matt and I are sharing a room because we're going to do some podcast gold while we're down there.
Okay, so guys.
Yes.
What do you think is the theme not going to be like old school versus new school for season 40?
I don't think so. I think they're going to go like Galug versus Matreo or like, I think they're going to go two tribal names. And I think they're just going to randomly sort people because I think they're going to use old school, new school for legends.
Okay. So if that's the case, then, who do you think is going out?
Johnny's really banking on his legend shit. I don't think it's happening.
Okay. Johnny just wants it to happen.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't listen to last week's podcast with Tina Weston, and answer me this, Joe. You love Survivor.
I understand they called old school players.
Okay, yeah, okay.
They called legends. That I know. I mean, we all talk to each other.
Well, that's the word on the street is that they call these legendary players, and then they switch to winners. Okay. Why was Richard Hatch pulled and Tina Wesson pulled? Were they possibly pulled because they'd rather, if I'm Survivor and I'm not a huge fan of a winter season, maybe I want to save a couple of these winners for the Legends season that I really wanted to do, and that's what I'm doing. How do you do a winter season and not have the first fucking winner of Survivor?
Well, I don't know, but there's a lot of rumors and shit about why
those rumors are not true.
We don't know. Do we have explanation why CBS does anything? I mean, they come up with themes. I think themes change probably like every 2 weeks. A theme. I think
they were pulled to be used later. I think that's a compliment to the playability of a Richard Hatch and a Tina Wesson.
I guess. I just don't think they fit like the winners. I mean, I guess you could say they do fit.
How do you do our winners without the first fucking winner?
Well, I understand that, but I understand it. But as far as like characters, I mean, if you look at the characters that are supposedly out there playing now, I mean, the males, you could kind of group them in like 3 categories, and the females are all over the place. I think that the
rule for females is you had to be alive and have a babysitter were the 2 rules.
I don't know. I think the females are stronger than the male cast. If you want me to be honest.
Well, I don't. Okay, I believe you. Are you trying to say my good friend Ethan Zahn is not entertaining television?
Nah, I don't know.
Fuck you. Ethan's winning.
All right. Let's go with everyone's first boot. Okay, if we had it, we're looking at the cast. We know who all's out there. Matt, do you have the list? You want?
Yeah, I'm gonna just rattle off the list of men and then the list of females, so the listeners can kind of get familiarized. So for the men we have Adam Klein, Ben. How do you say Ben's last name?
Driebergen.
Driebergen. Okay.
Real quick. Hold on, real quick. I got to quit. You guys were out there with Ben, right?
Yeah,
I'm not answering this question.
What I mean, this is pretty. I mean, I just don't. I haven't been able to find this out anywhere else, so I figured you might be someone I could go to. Has he ever served our nation's military in any way? And if so, why did he not mention it during a confessional or every confessional?
I asked him the same fucking question. Like, legit asked him the same question.
And
we actually got into it out on the island because he didn't want. He never talked about it. We got into it big time.
What did he say?
He basically told me to fuck off.
That's what winners say.
So we got Ben, we got Ethan Zahn, Jeremy Collins, Nick Wilson, Boston Rob, Tony Vlachos, Tyson, Wendell, and Yul Kwan. And then for the women, which I think is insane that we have Boston Rob and his wife Amber is playing. Danny Boatwright, Denise Stapley, Kim Spradlin, Michelle Fitzgerald, Natalie Anderson, Poverty, Sandra Diaz Twine, Sarah Lucina, and Sophie Clark. So there's a couple people that I kind of am shocked that's not on the list. But like Joe was saying, CBS does whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want. And half the decisions they make, you're like, I really don't understand why they're doing that. So first boot. Season 40, all winners. Out of this list, who is the first person going home? John, who wants to start?
I'm going to say the dumbass that decided not to create a pregame alliance is going to be the first one out. So I don't know who that is, but I feel like it's going to be like a newer person. Maybe like, I don't know, Nick won recently. I don't know if he has enough like time. Like build relationships.
He did. He's good. He did? Okay. I mean, I'm just guessing, but I think Nick and Wendell are fine.
Yeah. Then maybe someone like an older player, maybe like a Danny Boatwright, but I think she's a beast, so I don't think she's going home.
I think she's out of the loop.
Yeah, I think she's been out of the loop. I mean, yeah. What season did she win? 9, 8, 10, somewhere around there. So I mean, she's definitely out of the loop.
11, something like
10,
that.
11.
10, 11, 12. Maybe 12 was good both. 10 or 11. So.
It's either a late
11
player or very early on, like an early player is going to be the first boot.
Let me ask you this about the first boot.
Yeah.
I feel like watching this last season, a lot of people said that whenever a new player goes after a returnee player, the new player always loses in that first boot. Does that apply to all winner, to returnee seasons, multiple returnee versus single-time returnees? So in other words, if you try to go after a Sandra or a Rob, are you definitely going to lose because they're going to just outmaneuver you? Secret alliances aside, because I think that's a separate conversation.
Secret alliances are huge. Do any of you guys watch the MTV challenges?
So you're basically saying that no matter what, Secret Alliance is going to prevail at this first vote.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In which case, maybe Adam
Joe,
Klein goes home.
Joe,
but I think.
Hold on. Joe, you watch the MTV shows?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So on those, the veterans
always together.
Yeah. So there's an unwritten rule that the newer players are dumb and that they don't get. Like the old school guys get. It's just like, yeah, man. And like I think you two would get it, maybe less so Mike than Joe. I think Joe's more down. Mike, you're a loose cannon, and you fucking know it.
Mike is the biggest loose cannon out there. Right. That's Mike for shit out there. He will go wherever he thinks the number's going, bro. He's going wherever it goes.
Yeah, I love both you guys as characters and as friends. But I just watched, I'm just watching Mike. I'm just like, this motherfucker's gonna do something stupid for the sake of doing something stupid. And I don't think it's for TV time. It's just Mike's like, this is crazy, right? And it's just like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's fun, right? You have to do something to make your life fun.
No, watch a good play. Watch a good player play Survivor. It's much more entertaining. I promise.
I have method behind my madness.
Mike, I'm telling you far. I have no desire not to work with you. I think you're great, but I think you're fucking nuts. So Joe, on the other hand, my arch fucking enemy of enemies, I would work with you in a heartbeat, shake your hand, kiss you on the head. I think you're amazing.
Right, so Matt,
Mike around. I'm telling you why. The same way you feel about War Dog, that he's always constantly like thinking about numbers and strategies and shit. That fucker right there, nuts. He's fucking nuts, but he's constantly thinking from every motherfucking angle.
I know, but he's crazy. He's still crazy though. Like I get he's running all the strategies and he like in his head he's making the right decision 99 out of 100 times. The problem with Sex Dr. Mike is 1 out of 100. He's like, let's fucking just do that. That's fucking crazy, isn't it? It's like, yes, motherfucker. Go with the 99 out of 100. You're a smart motherfucker. Trust your gut.
That's nuts right there. That's nuts.
Do you think I got voted out?
You're Mr. Predictable. You play a very honest game. I think you're a very admirable and honorable guy. So but this is still hate you and all that. Nothing's changed. but I would work with you in a heartbeat.
So Matt,
if I'm on your side, I know I'm on your
side.
side.
Shut up, Fairplay. Sex Dr. Mike's trying to say something.
Matt, who do you think's going home first?
That's looking at this list. It's. I think Ben could go home first because I think that looking at the big personalities that are on the male side. I think dudes like Wendell and Jeremy Collins and Nick Wilson and will stick together. I think Ben, or honestly Sandra Diaz-Twine, as Joe was saying, like she won a second time because motherfuckers are like, this chick ain't gonna win twice. Well, I don't think these players are gonna think that this time about Sandra. Like
she has the strongest alliance, though. I don't think she's going.
She's rolling in 7 deep.
You think she's 7 deep?
Rumor innuendo.
Well, what about Amber? So Boston Rob and Amber. Do you split them up?
She's rolling deep. I would as a player,
but she's with Sandra's crew.
Yeah, she's rolling deep.
I mean, Boston Rob and Sandra will have just lived together on an island for 39 days.
I say Ben is first boot. I say Ben is first boot.
2 years ago at Hearts of Reality, you could not separate Boston Rob and Sandra. So she's rolling deep, and I think the last Hearts of Reality, she recruited Ben and Sarah. That's my guess.
I am worried about Ben, but because he was the winner of my season, I don't want him to lose. So I'm gonna say.
Oh, you're the worst.
I'm gonna say Nick is the first one out.
Who?
I think Nick. I feel like Nick. I could see Nick.
Nick is one of my 2 winner picks.
No way.
I'm on the exact. I think.
No way.
I think
you're crazy.
I think the 3 my 3 winner picks and also by being my 3 winner picks are the 3 most dangerous players in the game. Are Wendell?
Not dangerous. Wendell is.
Hold on, Wendell.
Yeah.
I think Dominic got credit for the strategic moves where Dominic was strategic, but it was also the social game that Wendell has that is amazing. I mean, like I think
I see.
one of the most likable guys in the history of Survivor in real life is Wendell Holland, and I think he uses that in the game, and not to not because he's a douchebag or nothing, because like he's just a really likable, nice guy, but I think there's a strategic social aspect of that he maximizes and would in an all winner season. So I think he'll be underestimated and excel, and I think Nick, what's that?
I don't think he's going to be underestimated by the rest of the
I think there's going to be some asshole winners walking around like their shit don't stink. I think there's going to be some arrogance, and they're going to look at Wendell and be like, you're a newer winner. And it's like, fuck you, dude. Like shit's a lot harder. I mean, like do I think the game I played was a harder, better game? Yes. Do I think playing with 18 fucking idols, nullifiers, and
Okay, Jonny,
plugs?
you only got to two. Jonny, you only said two of your top three.
Yeah, who's the other one?
Ethan.
Nick? Ethan. Okay.
I think my top three are Ethan, Tyson, and Denise. If people can let Denise get far, I think she's going to do great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think she has the attitude to carry that crowd. I think there's an arrogance amongst the winners. They're just gonna be like, like you don't have it. You're not one of us.
Denise dominated her season though.
Great. And
I don't think she's going to win for that reason, but I think she'll make it to the final
15 people on the street that know her first and last name. In any city on the planet, they don't. I think she's a nice lady.
Who cares if no one knows her name? She got fucking $1 million and she dominated her entire fucking season.
I don't care.
And survived every tribal that season had.
It doesn't matter. I don't think she'll be viewed in the. I think there's a hierarchy of the survivors and especially the winners. And I think it's fucking high school, and I think they're gonna play high school out there.
I think you guys will be stupid to think that Boston Rob's not gonna pull this bullshit off again. Legit.
He's going to. So here's the pivot. Here's the pivotal person on this season. Jeremy Collins. If Jeremy Collins sticks with Boston Rob, Sandra, and those guys. All right. So I mean, anyone that watches any of the poker shows, or the poker tournament they do in Reno every year, it's Jeremy, Tyson, Kim, Boston Rob. Amber's now in that alliance, and then Sandra. That's 7 fucking deep.
Nah, I'm gonna throw in Tony in there since they went Ponderosa for a minute. I'm gonna throw Tony in there, and I'm gonna throw Sarah in there because of Tony. That's 9. That's almost half the cast.
Okay.
Who's the last one you said, Jeff?
Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. So and as I said, I think Sandra recruited fucking Ben and Officer Sarah at Hearts Reality last year.
That's half the cast, baby.
That's half the cast.
That's the
but I'm sure Ethan is in that group as well. I'm sure Ethan is friends with all of them.
Here's why I say that Jeremy Collins is the pivotal vote. If he does a deal where it's just like, hey, let's split the vote, blah, 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 and Jeremy has a side deal, like maybe him and Wendell are friends.
Yes, I say him and Wendell.
So I see Wendell, Nick, and Jeremy grabbing some other people, and then they flip the script right there. But that has to happen early. If it doesn't happen early, it's game over.
I mean, you guys have left Parvati out. Right?
I think she's like you were asking before. Who do you think is the first boot? Parvati Shallow is my guess for first boot.
Jonny, you're too biased, man. You hate Parvati and you hate Sandra. No way.
If I had stayed in the game, the first person I was sending home was fucking Parvati.
I don't know about that.
Do you think Parvati's in Boston Rob's, 10-person alliance coming in the game? No.
Nah.
And you don't think his wife's going, hey, how about get rid of the girl that swings her ass from side to side in front of you? Let's send her home first. I mean, I don't know. I've had a girl
at this
before
point in their life,
that doesn't like that shit.
Less work for me.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. This season should be called, Survivor winners, what alliance is going to win? Like, these pregame alliances are insane, dude. I mean, there's no way that
But the cool thing I heard was when they were casting it, they brought people to the secret hotel in Los Angeles. And we don't talk, you know. So anyways, there's a secret hotel. Instead of that group room, they would bring us in to do the psych test all together. They did it. They did in individual rooms, and you weren't allowed to leave your room for anything. So no one knew unless you were in this inner web of shitty pregame alliances. No one knew that the other people were there. Versus all of us in that same room together going, well, I know who I'm fucking calling when I leave here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't know. Survivor.
Unfortunately, you have a player like Sandra that's putting on fucking Facebook, here's me with my yoga mat. I wonder what I have my yoga mat for. Give me a call. I have my yoga mat, you know. And then the next week, hey, I'm at the pool. I have on goggles because, you know me, I always just hang out the pool casually wearing goggles because I'm swimming laps trying to practice for fucking Survivor, but I still can't fucking swim.
No, but you can't go off of that either because, I thought Mike Holloway was going to be out there. He was doing all type of crazy shit.
I think he was an alternate.
I'm bummed Mike Holloway is not going
I'm
to be
upset.
out
He's
there.
one of my favorites.
He wasn't one of theirs, obviously.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's definitely.
I think he's proven he has the ability to make it all the way to the end with zero help from production or anything else, and they're just like, that's not the person we want to win.
I think it was him and Ben are interchangeable. If you think about it, somewhat the same character a little bit, and I think they decided to go with Ben instead for whatever reason.
Yeah,
because I think they painted Ben in a bigger light than they painted Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a war veteran hero. I think, and if you think about it, they kind of almost needed that this season. They don't really have anyone like Ben.
If you're looking at the list of the cast, they don't have that archetype of a person in the cast.
Well, real quick, Sex Dr. Mike.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Why did you text me and say if I was on Winners and we were allowed luxury items, I would bring firecrackers for Ben? What does that mean?
Oh, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up, Mike. Why would you text me that?
I never said that you're making stuff up.
So shitty, dude.
That's just mean.
You played the game with him.
That's just mean.
That's horrible. Would you hide them in your butt?
Jonny, this is why you are a horrible human being.
Because I read a text that you wrote to me out loud. You're right, Sex Dr. Mike. That's real. I'm a bad person for reading what you wrote to me.
If you can find that on my phone.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can delete shit too. It's okay.
So when he does your vasectomy, are you going to save your vas deferens in a jar and auction them off for charity, Jonny?
Ooh, I don't think you're allowed to.
Well, I sent my son's umbilical cord to one of my buddies in an envelope.
Yeah, but did you sell it to him on eBay?
No. Well, let's see, you could gift it. You just can't sell it. Body parts.
I've often wondered why.
There's a lot of people that would love to own my balls.
Like catch fish and put the fish on the wall, or shoot a deer and put the deer's head on the wall. Yeah. But then if they have to have an organ removed, nobody asks to be able to embalm their organ. And I don't understand.
So I should do that. I should have it like in my trophy, because I don't have a lot of trophies. Shockingly, guys, put my taxidermied balls in my trophy rack. I'm
not cutting off your balls,
okay.
And also I'm not giving you your vas deferences. Deferi.
Oh, so, vas deferi. Do you need a shirt that says just hashtag vas deferi?
I can make shirts, Matt.
So who finds the idol?
Like a got milk shirt? Hashtag got vas deferi?
Do I have that shirt? Not yet.
Back to season 40 stuff. So who finds the first idol? The hidden immunity idol. Who finds it?
Ethan's on.
Adam.
Fuck out of here. I didn't even remember Ethan's season. There was no idols back then, right? What season did he win? 4? 5?
3.
He was on Africa 3, and here's the deal. Like I'm good friends with like 2005. I'm hanging out in Los Angeles, and like Jenna Lewis and all these people. They're just like, "Have you hung out with Ethan yet?" And I'm just like, "No." And they're like, "You guys are gonna be best friends." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure we're not." And then like we meet and it's like, holy fuck, you're evil as shit. And he is like, I got a very kind edit. And I'm just like, wow, this motherfucker's magic. So if production, if there's anyone left from that old regime, which, you know, there may be one or two, and they like him, he's gonna do well, because that's a evil motherfucker that gets a very kind edit. I mean, like, you know, you don't have to say mean shit in your fucking confessionals. You can say nice shit, and they can write whatever story they want for you. So, but that dude is he is a great. I mean, we've told
a great story.
He has a great story. We've told the story on some of the Patreon stuff before. Rumor and Innuendo says that on All Stars, that first challenge, that the winners were targeted early. So maybe Ethan threw wooden planks at Rudy's ankle so that Rudy would go before a winner. That's a dirty player, dude.
That is. I don't know if I buy that, but
that's rumor and innuendo.
Right.
I have never asked Ethan about that. Do I know? But have I heard that from multiple players? Yes, sir.
Oh, if it's true, if multiple players say it, right?
I think. I think Tony. I got a call from
Sex Dr. Mike earlier today about some shit. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm throwing my hands up. So yeah, no, I don't believe multiple players on nothing. But I mean, as I said, I know a lot of the cast from Survivor Africa, and they're just like, Lex was an amazing player, and they did not show half his game because he played a dirty, like a respectable dirty game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Ethan finds an idol. I mean, that's not.
Tony Vlachos finds first idol. Is my opinion.
Absolutely.
You think they show him where the first idol is?
Tony's a workhorse, and he's a workhorse.
Yeah, Tony.
You know what he is. I don't believe in production help. I don't think it really happens, but you know, there's rumor in your window that it is, and in this instance, like, it's not like our wink wink rumor. Like I think it is rumor in innuendo, and like I would like to think their production doesn't give anybody a fucking idol. I think if you know, it's not that hard to figure the shit out, and if you work hard enough, you're gonna find shit too.
Idol is all about who's putting in the work. I mean, that's all it comes down to. Is obviously some luck behind it, but whoever's looking for it is going to find it. I mean, that's just kind of how I look at it. If you put in the work, you're gonna find.
I think that answers everything.
Yeah.
Right, Mike? No. All right.
I mean, that's just how I look at it. Mike knows. Mike found an idol.
That is
He was putting in work. While other people decided to quit, he continued looking, and he found it. That's what it comes down to.
Okay. All right. All right. So who are we on first boot? First idol. First idol. Sorry.
Yeah, first idol. Tony? I have Tony as my pick.
I can see Tony. I can see Adam Klein being desperate and looking all night and finding one. Otherwise, he's going to go home early, I think.
I think he's an early boot.
Yeah, more than likely.
But if he can integrate a lot of these guys, how's Tyson going to do?
Well, he's in that poker alliance. Yeah. He's in the poker alliance with Boston Rob and
he's so
Jeremy
out there.
I love Tyson, and he's one of my favorites.
I think Jeremy flips to the new alliance with Wendell and Nick because I think Jeremy thinks he could beat Wendell and Nick better than a Boston Rob, and I think Tyson jumps with Jeremy to that alliance.
Well, the good thing about Wendell and Jeremy,
they're both black. I don't know if you know.
No, and their seasons they both play very similar games, but they always work well with like someone else. I mean. You know, Wendell had Dom, and then Jeremy had Steven. So, I mean, they work well with, you know, someone else. So, I think if they pair up, they're definitely dangerous. But
they're both good people.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, Wendell, I love Wendell. I've never met Jeremy, but Wendell speaks highly of Jeremy. So, I mean, I think they'll definitely work out. Yeah,
good people. Good people usually gravitate to good people. Like no matter how great fans versus favorites.
amazing people. And we just gravitated towards each other, and we love each other.
Exactly.
No, I mean like fans versus favorites. Like, you know, I met with Penner before I went out there. I talked with Yowman over the phone. I get out there, Yowman goes, "I don't talk. This is business. I don't talk." And I'm just like, wow, this sucks. Worst alliance ever. I'm with the motherfucker for 39 days, but he doesn't talk to me. And then go in the woods, and Penner goes, "I call the shots. You fucking listen. Shut the fuck up." And I'm just like, okay, this is the worst alliance ever. And that was my pregame alliance.
That's why you don't do fucking pregame alliance.
I agree.
Let me ask you guys this. So there's a lot of big characters on this group of people. Tony and Tyson and Poverty and freaking, Boston Rob, Sandra Diaz-Twine. Who do you think's gonna dominate? Like, with all these winners, who's gonna dominate the confessionals in the storyline early on?
Boston Rob.
Even though he's gonna have just been doing confessionals in season 39, I don't know about that.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
They fucking love Boston Rob, man.
You're right.
Boston Rob. He's not even one of my top 5 players. Like, the guy. I mean, nothing against him. Obviously, I mean he's obviously a great player, right?
I mean, yeah, 4 times and not making the jury twice. He's great.
Well,
Exactly, right?
It's kind of like a Rupert. Everyone knows who Boston Rob is. So, but I agree with you. I would rather see. There's a ton of players that I would like to see before I would like to see a Boston Rob.
Well, Boston Rob and Amber make it to the end of All-Star. I was talking to an All-Star earlier today, and he was just like, dude, fucking Boston Rob and Amber walk up for All-Stars, and it's just like, how the fuck are they here? They're like, I'm not worried about them. They didn't do enough to be here, and that's how they made it to the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's who CBS likes. I mean,
Amber made it pretty far, though, her first season. She made it like 30-something days. It was Rob that only lasted, a short period of time.
But she wasn't a memorable player.
No, she wasn't. Yeah, I agree.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have a question for you.
Yeah.
And this is something I actually did text you, Johnny.
Yeah.
There are, when I was on my first tribe with Joe was like, nobody is leaving. Everybody has to, I want to know where everybody is at all times. And then when I got to the merge, Ben and Chrissy, exact same way, they would stand perched to look to see where everybody was at all times. And you were not allowed to wander off the camp. You were not allowed to wander. Versus Wendell, we talked to him.
Right. No. Chrissy and Ben, yeah, I mean they were in a dominant alliance, so they were able to communicate with everyone, like, hey, watch everyone. But I wasn't like that in my on the Healing tribe. I just caused everyone to be paranoid about the idol, but everyone kind of walked off and did their own thing. Just want to clarify
Except
that.
me.
So,
Except me.
yeah, obviously.
Except you were like, never let that guy be alone. So
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
All right.
So, but the question is,
hold on. 42 legends. Does Sex Dr. Mike find the first idol?
Maybe.
42 legends.
Season
Mike?
42 legends. Does Sex Dr. Mike find the first idol?
Oh, let me tell you something about Mike, man. Mike fucking hustles. This motherfucker will be up 2-3 in the morning looking for that fucking idol.
I think season 42, like, if we're having the same prediction show, and me and Mike fly back on the same flight, and I go, hey, when you guys, who do you think is going to find the first idol? I want to make this prediction now versus after play, like, and it's going to be the same answer. Sex Dr. Mike finds the first idol on Survivor Legends season 42.
All right, let's do 44 because 42 ain't happening. But all right, 44, I'll put money on that.
All right. Done. Okay. So in any event, I'm curious if they're going to keep it as a police state versus on Wendell's season. He's like, oh, I would just stand outside by the boat, all day, every day, just whittling wood. And it's like, they let you just hang out by yourself all day long?
Johnny, your season, right? I can't remember. Were there idols in play?
Nope.
Okay, so
their first one was not my second.
Okay, Matt, your season there was obviously idols in play.
Yes.
My question to you, because my season was not like this. We were not allowed to randomly disappear, for like a half an hour. Maybe because I initiated like that whole paranoia, like, hey, people looking for idols. But I'm amazed to see on television how during confessionals, so this is not bullshit, someone during a confessional will say, oh, Jonny was out there for an hour and a half all by himself looking for an idol. And that's okay. Like, that was common practice, like, for everyone. Was that this? Like, did that occur in your season? Like, people will disappear for hours and no one was concerned?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jonny.
I'm asking you, Matt. Yeah, I'm asking you, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
Oh, no. So there was people going out looking for idols all the time. Myself being one of them. But there was a lot of different rules. There was no live tribals. There was production was, you would get freaking yelled at and you had the fear of God in you for doing something out of the ordinary. So, shit's a lot more laid back, I think, now. And I don't know why that is. I remember like, Reynolds had an idol on my season and Laura saw it in his pocket and was calling him out, and Jeff got pissed because we were talking like right before tribal. We're like in the little huts or whatever, and you're not supposed to. You're on lockdown, and everyone's trying to communicate. Oh, he's got an idol and shit, So I don't know. I think that did people go hours by themselves? No, I wouldn't say hours by themselves. I mean, typically, like Michael Snow and I would be out together gathering wood, and it was obvious we were looking for idols, but not really necessarily hours, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, because, I just hear every other season, like, Ty, like, I hear Ty would go out and disappear for hours, and I'm just, like, I'm amazed. Like, I'm really a bad Survivor player. The fact that I was not able to go hours away from camp. Nobody was.
Well, the thing is, here's the deal, dude. As much as I would want to find an idol,
you don't want to be away from camp.
My social game and developing the bonds with people and knowing what's going on, you don't want to miss out on what's happening around camp because it's like, what are they saying? What kind of go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And back to Mike, what I'm saying, Mike, is I think with obviously all winter season, I think it's going to be similar to like our season, like, and that's why I think Tony's going to be very successful because Tony could, he's quick, he's fast, he's savvy, so he's going to disappear for 4 or 5 minutes, and him disappearing for 4 or 5 minutes is equivalent to someone else going out for half an hour. And I'm very similar. Like, I go out for 5 minutes, I'm surveying that area 20 times faster than anybody else. So I think Tony is savvy enough to figure a way to, I'm going to the bathroom, shoot out, find an idol, find a clue, and then come back to camp, and no one's going to think, batted eye, compared to, maybe, I don't know, someone else, like maybe Sandra going out for 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I think they'll be more concerned about her leaving for a long period of time compared to Tony for like 5 minutes.
Thinking about this, is there any possible way that these winners could all just say, listen, let's battle it out in an old school fashion?
No.
And none of us are going to fucking fuck with idols. Is that even a possibility?
It's a possibility they'll say it, but they're going to go out there and look for shit.
Mm-hmm. Like Sandra would be like, so I said it, and then I went and looked for the idol, and it's just like, I know. Because why would you honor?
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of good idol. Ben. Looking at this list,
so
Boston Rob, Tony Vlachos. There's a lot of people I think that have the opportunity to. It's going to be wild. Honestly, I'm excited to watch it and podcast about it because I know everyone's won $1 million, but I think that people are still going to play hard on this season. Are you guys a fan of the season 40 theme, like the all winner deal? Like Sex Dr. Mike, you go first. Are you a fan of this concept?
Yeah, I love it. I really do. I'm looking forward. Listen, Jonny, I know you don't like it.
I like it for season 50. I don't like it for season 40.
It's the first season in a while. Honestly, probably since I played. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Okay.
I feel like I know these people.
You wouldn't have preferred Legends?
Sure, of course I would have preferred Legends.
Okay, thank you. That's That's my only argument.
Well,
I mean,
I mean, Johnny, you're speaking the whole Legends thing based off of you wanting to play Legends, right? If you were just a fucking Caramoan fans versus favorite peon like myself, would it still matter as much to you? You know what I mean?
I think so. Because I think the better character, like the better television characters, are the Legends.
I agree with you.
I agree with that.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't care if you love or hate Russell Hantz. I think Russell Hantz should play the game of Survivor again.
Absolutely.
I mean, is he a horrible person? Yes. But I mean, I just can't imagine you playing Survivor. I mean, is he an early boot? He's got, I would be shocked if he wasn't. But I think he should have the opportunity to play. I mean, I want to watch Russell for one episode. I showed my daughter Survivor Australia, or the one, that Russell Hantz did. She goes, Daddy, that is one of my favorite players I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was like, good for you, kid. I mean, I don't like Russell. I mean, I know him. Just but I'm sitting there and just you know what? This kid appreciates greatness. He is a great player. He's great fucking television.
He's great. Gold. That's gold right there.
Yeah. Russell Hantz as a person, let's not.
Is this Johnny trying to make a secret alliance right here?
No.
I've never met Russell.
You're an idiot if you work with Russell. I will say that up on Sunday. So, no, I have no desire to work with Russell. Do I think he deserves one episode? Yes, absolutely.
Russell Hantz's first season, I absolutely loved Russell Hantz. Watching him play the game of Survivor. And
would you work with him?
Fuck no. I play with with Brandon Hantz. But you know what? I
They're all crazy.
They are. But yeah, there are a lot of other players that I would maybe like to see. Obviously, yeah. There's some people on this list that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Ethan Zahn, Tony Vlachos, Wendell, Michelle Fitzgerald. I know she gets a bad freaking reputation for her win, but there's a lot of my friends on here and a lot of players that are fucking good Survivor players. So I'm excited, Mike. I mean, Edge of Extinction was so shitty, and I'm hoping that 39 is not a letdown with the newbies. I'm hoping that we have a lot of good players, and I hope it doesn't completely get, fucking dominated, which it will with Boston Rob and Sandra.
The Edge of Extinction finale might have been annoying to you guys, but it was great television.
It was great TV.
Well, Johnny and I have talked about this. If you're basing the Edge of the Edge of Extinction Survivor finale was one of the greatest finales in a long. If you base it on the finale, it was fucking awesome because you
possibly the best ever.
It was
if you base the season on one episode.
Yeah, I agree.
It was great. I mean, as a fan, my jaw was dropping when Chris gave up his immunity to make fire and all this stuff. I was like, my kids were like, oh my God. And that's the beauty of Survivor. The reason Survivor has been on for so long is because my wife and my kids love the show. Sex Dr. Mike, same with you. Fairplay, Joe. That it's a generational thing, and I'm excited to see it. And yeah.
Well, let's get everyone's winner pick for season 40. This is how we bring it all together. Let's bring it to a close. This has been crazy, by the way. The fucking Coconutz.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, before we do that, I think one last question I came up with. Oh, okay. Because when we're going, Johnny,
producer Mike.
Johnny, I feel like you know these people, but you're friends with all of them. Clearly, Boston Rob's a dominant personality. If you were Boston Rob, who are you going after the first vote?
Wendell.
Not Tony?
No, because I think Sandra has Tony under control.
So you think Wendell because you can see Wendell flipping with Jeremy?
I think Wendell's not in that 10 fucking person alliance. And anyone that outside that 10-person alliance is a target. And then when you're meeting everyone, I think Boston Rob is one of the smartest players ever and would be like, this motherfucker's dangerous. He didn't come in with me. I'm not trying to recruit while I'm here. He's gone.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see Wendell with like Michelle and with Nick and with Adam. I can see that.
As I said, it's you. I think that Jeremy Collins is the most important player on this season. If he flips, I think Tyson goes with him, and the entire pregame fiasco is destroyed immediately.
Yeah, I agree. I got Jeremy and Denise as my top two.
I could see. I think once again, I think Jeremy's a good person. Wendell's a good person. I think Denise is a good person, so she could align with them. But if you're bigger personalities that aren't necessarily good people, if they control the game, Denise isn't in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone spicy is not winning this season. It's not going to be the big personalities. The big personalities never win. I mean, we know that. I mean, there's a few winners here. It took Boston 30 times to play to win. Spicy. Yeah. I mean, we got Sandra that's real spicy, full of song, but I don't think she's going to pull it off. I know Parvati's not going to pull it off. It's going to be like a Jeremy that has the hunger for his family, likable guy, athletic, and it's going to be Denise that under the radar, like she's played from the bottom. That's all she knows how to do is play from the bottom.
Yeah. I think that's a good theory. I would say Jeremy Collins is looking at this list, and as we're sitting here openly discussing this, I mean, as much as I would like to see, man, I'd say Jeremy Collins is my winner pick.
Ethan is mine. Got to stick with Ethan.
I get it. He plays for Boyve. I'm going.
It's your hall pass, not your wife's. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going. Nick Wilson.
I
think Nick Wilson gets in tight with Wendell. They run the show just like Dominic and Wendell, but I think that OG shucks at the fucking end. Like I don't think he takes Wendell to the end. I think he stabs him at 4 or 5, and I think Nick goes further.
No way.
You love Nick, dude. You confirmed my.
He's an amazing player.
No, amazing player. Are you serious?
Absolutely.
You gotta be fucking shitting me, B. You gotta be shitting me. He played great his season, the first half, didn't do shit his second half. A great player.
He won the last 3 challenges. He didn't have to do
it. I agree, but
and he had a final jury speech that he's been practicing for 9 years prior to getting there.
I believe it.
I like Nick Wilson. Do I think he can win? No, I think Jeremy Collins is there's a bunch of nice guys
Jeremy
on
Collins is in an alliance. Like Jeremy Collins has to be in an alliance for Jeremy to even win. And I think when it gets down that final stretch, that Nick is a dirtier player than Wendell and Jeremy Collins.
Yes,
you think he's a dirtier player than Jeremy?
Nope.
Yo, Jeremy got a family to feed. That dude's hungry. Nick is just a little lawyer with no family, don't got shit. When it comes down to it, Jeremy's about that life. Jeremy's about that life, Nick.
Yeah, Nick is about Stone Cold Steve Austin and Buff Bagwell. I'm sorry, it's about that life.
Did you just say fiction? I mean, wrestlers, dude. These are fucking actors.
Great.
These are actors.
Great. And he loves that. He's all in. He's just like, I want to do some bad guy shit. That's funny.
Nick is not making the merge.
Jeremy ain't no fucking act. He's about that life. There's no way. Can't compare them. Yo, Jeremy will stab.
I think you would be shocked when you met Nick.
I've met Nick. He's not making the merge.
So, okay, and one last question. Otherwise, we'll be here all night on this podcast, and I want to go to fucking bed. But is there? Do you think the prize money is going to be more than $1 million?
Double. I think the prize money all the way up is double.
What do you guys think?
I think that if one of them was smart, they should ask Jeff to double it.
And do you think Boston Rob? Because I think the answer. Go ahead.
Hold on, real quick. All Star, the money was double except for the grand prize,
Oh.
according to rumor and innuendo.
Yeah, but that's when. I mean, All Stars was. That's when Survivor was popping. I mean, it was still like 20 million viewers. I mean, we get
honestly 11 million viewers in 2019 is pretty fucking strong for the budget that they spent.
Oh yeah,
they're very happy with it.
And then my last question too is this: so Boston Rob and Amber, they're both parents. They have a bunch of kids. Do you think that if one of those, if Boston Rob or Amber get voted out, that they get to go home to their family? Because on my season, Shamar and Brandon Hance, because I was, I went to Ponderosa, and I'm like, okay, we're going to go on this pre-jury trip. There's no Brandon Hance and there's no Shamar.
Really?
Yes. So they sent Brandon Hance home. He got to go home, and everyone was fucking irate, pissed.
They're like, this motherfucker's an idiot. He gets to go home, but I'm forced to fucking stay here on the fucking Ponderosa.
So my point is, since it is millionaire winners, and there's, they have like families, this, that, and the other, are they gonna fly by the same rules as the rest of normal Survivor players?
Season. I think it's a huge season. I don't think they'll let shit like that happen.
Yeah,
I think
I don't think.
Or do you think that they will fly?
Same rules.
Same rule. Yeah, I think you can't risk Amber being seen by a TMZ or like in 2019. There's like TMZ isn't like 8 guys sitting in an office going, "Hey, let's go find the scoops." Like it's the entire planet texting or phone calling or emailing going, "Hey, I'm a Survivor fan. They're supposed to be filming season 40 right now, and Amber was just at the Publix."
What about if what if they fly the kids to Ponderosa?
Boston Rob's kids are definitely in Fiji as we speak, in Ponderosa.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Amber's kids and Boston Rob, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
There's my answer. Well, dudes,
and Sandra's purposely aren't by her request. I don't want them kids here. I don't care if I get voted out second, but I don't want the kids. No, I mean I do Survivor just to leave them.
That's a horrible person.
I know Sandra doesn't even have an accent.
It's enough. I mean, she phones it in when she plays. I phone it in when I do her impression.
That's awesome. Well, Joe, Sex Dr. Mike, it's been fun. It really has, and I can't wait to meet you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and it's actually been like one of the most tough things trying to reel Jonny Fairplay in from interrupting both you motherfuckers the whole time.
Yeah.
Are you going to Hearts of Reality?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I'll see
his first time ever.
My first time. Are you going, Joe?
No, I stay away from all Survivor anything.
Why don't you go to Hearts Reality? Is a good charity.
Nah, I don't do none of that shit, man. The only time you can see me doing anything that's Survivor related if I ever play again, and that's it, man. I stay away from all that.
I don't get. All right, so tell us why. Like why is why the disconnect?
Why the disconnect?
People that like you.
Because he's got a life. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is like I can't be fake. So like I'm not kissing no one's ass, and I don't want no one kissing my ass. So like I'm just a real motherfucker. Like I just don't got time to be like around a lot of like bullshit.
But I'm on it. Like I meet people, they're just like, "Hey, Jonny Fairplay," and I was like, "Hi," and they're just like, "Do you not like me?" And I'm just like, "You're not my favorite, but I'm sure you're a good person."
I just don't want to be like in the whole. I mean, no shots fired, no one. I just kind of just I support like my like I hang out with Mike and the rest of my cast and stuff like that, and I've hung out with other people from other seasons and stuff. But I'm just not gonna go out my way and just do like this huge Survivor thing. Like I don't know. No.
I think you'd have a lot of fun.
I think we would too. I enjoyed meeting, just like hanging out with like Bryce. You know what I mean? Like just random guys that I would never meet.
Right.
Yeah, Bryce is cool as fuck. I haven't met him yet.
Who's the guy from Boston that's Bryce's friends? I'm just blanking on his name.
Rodney. I met Rodney before.
Yeah, Rodney's super cool.
Rodney's cool.
Yeah.
I go here and there, but
So Matt, everybody's at the pool. It's like 11 a.m. We're all hanging out at the pool, and just drinking, chilling out, having breakfast. And here comes Jonny Fairplay in his bikini, his mankini,
Speedo.
his Speedo and his
Speedo. No. I mean, there wasn't a top to my outfit.
He's like in his man belt.
Yes.
His man purse.
Yeah, I wear Speedos.
I've heard.
Why is that weird?
I do not want to see it.
I mean, you're acting like that's like.
Yeah, I would have a blast with Jonny. That motherfucker crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about getting in a Speedo, and Joe's like, "I'm in."
Okay, good night, guys. I'm out of here.
Right on. Hey man, I appreciate it, and it's been fun, and it's been exactly seeing Jonny Fairplay's banter with you guys, especially just observing, has been entertaining to me. So
I love these guys. I think they're awesome.
I do too, and it was a pleasure. And I know it's late. You guys have a good night, and we will see you next time on Survivor NSFW. Cheers, everybody.